You're listening to Police Life, The Experts, a Victoria Police podcast shining a light on our people and their extraordinary skills.
$49 starters out. Jen's online, 54.
6525 for the gross weight.
Copy, thanks, mate.
The Air Wing is the aviation unit of Victoria Police. It's based in Metro Melbourne but covers the entire state of Victoria. The fleet consists of 3 Leonardo AW139 helicopters and a Beechcraft Super King Air 350 ER aeroplane. The Air Wing, also known as Pol Air, responds to more than 10,000 jobs a year. The night shift begins for Victoria Police's Air Wing. From the Pol Air helicopter, the flight crew scans the arterials and freeways for anything unusual, until a call comes in. 2 suspected stolen vehicles on the South Gippsland Freeway. There is a powerful camera on the belly of the chopper. This forward-looking infrared, or FLIR, locks onto its targets. It sees the cars as 2 shapes of fast-moving light in the darkness. The heat signature from the tyres, brakes and engines shines bright. These cars have been driven hard and fast.
Which vehicle do you want us to stick with?
It's 11:03 p.m. and the high-stakes game is on again. If all goes to plan, police will use vehicle immobilising devices, also known as stop sticks, to put the brakes on these offenders. If possible, it would be done at low speed, and that's the art of what's about to unfold between Pol Air and the ground units.
My name's Gavin Devine. I'm a sergeant at the Victoria Police Air Wing. We are a great asset, but we can't do anything without the ground unit. So you need good people on the ground because really they do all the hard work. You know, we can help with our observations and we can interpret the manner of driving to try and suggest different points that may be good for stop sticks.
Policy 2, we're code 1 on your channel.
We're called tactical flight officers, which is a role that's unique to a police officer in the aviation field. When we're dealing with refuelers at airfields, they need to know that we're sort of part of a flight crew because you have to have special exemptions to be on federal land.
While Air Wing members are classed as tactical flight officers, they are still police on the beat.
You can never predict what jobs are going to come over the radio. There's some days where I've come into work, not much is happening. We get in there and it's, all right, we need you guys. You've been deployed by search and rescue, off to Mount Feathertop. So you just never know. The last 2 nights we've had 6 actual physical car chases that we've followed on both of those nights. But pretty much any job that people call 0004 we'll help out with if we're up and about. And if there's no calls, we're just like your normal div van, like we'll go out patrolling. And we find a lot of the work ourselves, because you look for anything out of the ordinary. So we might find a car that's drawing our attention. It's either driving slowly or driving erratically or it's parked in an unusual place and we'll just watch it. It's kind of like fishing. See what happens. And then sure enough, we might get this one checked out. And that's where the ground units come in. It's like, hi, it's a Pol Air 30 or whatever. Can you come and have a look at this suspicious car for us?
Tonight's call for assistance has come from Cranbourne Police in Melbourne's southeast. Motor vehicle thefts in Victoria rose 24% in the last year. A car is stolen every 23 minutes. Sergeant Cam Wallace is driving an unmarked vehicle on the tail of the crooks, following at a distance.
I've been running a proactive crew, so we were just targeting volume crime, opportunistic thefts, and saw a car going a little bit fast down the street, and probably within 10 seconds of us getting behind it when you was on, they didn't know we were there, but they were just moving and Pol Air were up and about, did the call, and luckily given those comms, their new aircraft technology is phenomenal, and I've seen that change in my time from different FLIRs to the ones they've got now. And once they get directions for the camera to turn on, they'll just pick up that fast moving heat signature. It's either going to be me or the crooks. Either way, they're in the right area.
A video downlink allows Cam to see what the FLIR camera is picking up.
Once I'm watching that as well, given my comms, I can tell them, yeah, you're on the right target and we're good to go. So look, that was just one of those absolute fortuitous moments where they were airborne, headed our way, slaved their camera on, and they'd picked us up probably within 30 seconds of us calling the job. That was low traffic that night. It was just all the stars aligned for us, so it was good. You've got your vehicles of interest and your opportunistics. This became both in one, that it was an opportunistic pick up the fast mover, we get behind. Yeah, similar taillights, similar design to a volume theft from gyms where they're stealing people's key fobs, breaking into gyms and stealing cars. And then we noticed a second car ahead of it. And that's where we absolutely knew we didn't have to get right up their clacker to get a rego. These are the two cars and we're on here.
Tonight's job is part of Operation Trinity, which has been targeting burglars and car thieves every night since March 2023. Trinity runs from dusk until dawn across Melbourne and is easily Victoria Police's most well-resourced operation. On top of standard patrols, there are another 70 police, including members of the Dog Squad, Public Order Response Team and Air Wing, specifically tasked with preventing and responding to burglaries and car thefts each night. Because of this intense focus, police arrested 673 burglars and car thieves, almost 1,550 times over a 12-month period. A further 7,350 people have been processed for other offences detected by police working night shift across the Trinity area of operations. The Air Wing has been a critical factor in the success of Operation Trinity.
It's your mainstay and go-to, just because that aerial platform gives you so much oversight, but also their level of detachment, and they're really cool, calm, collected. Their comms are good, give great instructions, but they're not at the coalface, so they haven't got as much skin in the game in terms of white line fever, tunnel vision, and they're a really good settling force from that point of view. I've got a lot of young troops out this way, so a calming voice with a bit of reason, sensibility and some tactics, just massive for us.
And you may have guessed it by now, but Gavin is about as cool, calm and collected as they get.
If you can just confirm that first vehicle was recovered, then that's all the outstanding matters for this one.
We never meet these people. Some of the people, through your policing experience, you've met them. But most of the time, they're just voices on the other end of the radio.
On the pursuit controls for this, it's a silver Tiguan SUV.
Yeah, then the next 2 or 3 hours is, we create all this paperwork for people on the ground and then we get to fly back, refuel and do it all again.
The Air Wing remains high above the action in these pursuits, but Gavin has been in Cam's place. He spent 3 years in the State Highway Patrol going after the worst of the worst on our roads. This was an era of high-speed pursuits. Until a review in 2015, officers had a broad discretion to engage in pursuits. The review focused on striking the right balance between protecting life and the need to arrest offenders.
I completely understand why they needed to change the pursuit policy when they did, because honestly, looking back, it got pretty wild. There was certainly times where I felt the need to talk to the driver and say, hey, we just need to calm down. Not only have we got one car driving like crazy, we're making it worse.
Today, police only pursue a vehicle where there's a serious risk to public safety or health, a criminal offence has been committed or is about to be committed, that involves serious injury to a person, or other means of tracking down the vehicle's occupants are not feasible. These changes created a career opportunity for Gavin Devine.
I saw the Air Wing as a step where I can still get these guys that are really posing the real significant risk. I've seen these offending vehicles driving like absolute loonies. So, yeah, it was a real driver to, like I said, be able to hold those people accountable for their actions.
What Gavin saw out on the road left its mark on him, especially the tragic, needless death of children.
It's going to be a tough one. I try not to get emotional because, how can I? Because unfortunately it all stems around young children sort of being run over. But I put some things, I really wanted to make a difference there. And I kind of used my position at the Highway Patrol to really bring in I got some great funding through the TAC for this charity, which is all about awareness for obviously kids being run over. Because there was a lot of kids that when they go away on holiday destinations were so sort of excited and fixated on the environment that road sense kind of went out the window. It was called the Little Blue Dinosaur Foundation.
The foundation was established in memory of Thomas McLaughlin, who was tragically killed in a pedestrian accident in 2014.
It was a family who was away on holiday, and unfortunately their son just ran out. Being a metropolitan kid, he was used to like the curb and channel, so stepped down between the transition between the footpath and the road. At this holiday destination, there was not that. There was a real beautiful family that turned the loss of their son into something really, really productive, and has made a huge difference right across New South Wales. And I was able to bring that project and initiative to Victoria, and we implemented it down here, and it just made such a difference. Everyone needs to be aware that during these holiday periods, you're going to have increased traffic, increased kids, and decreased awareness.
Like Gavin, Cam Wallace has a deep connection to the prevention of road trauma and catching crooks who can cause it. It's a constant battle. Tonight's offenders are well known to police.
Some of them were wanted for armed robberies, high-volume crime. Yeah, I think there was a carjacking suspect in there as well. But that's just one of many crews doing the same thing. So to wipe them for a little while is great, and gives the community a bit of reassurance or rest.
Before he became a uniformed sergeant at Cranbourne, Cam had been a police dog handler for much of his career. Being tethered to a canine gave Cam a different angle on these pursuits. When the crooks dump the vehicle and run, Pole guides the canine units to the fugitives. Cam doesn't know Gavin personally, but they've worked together before with success, and their interaction tonight will be precise and efficient.
756. Got eyes on those two vehicles, still heading along Weston, got them in the distance with tail lights. Driving's a little bit above the speed limit, but driving good to the conditions, and that'll be approaching Thompson, stand by for direction of travel.
He does a great job just maintaining obs from a distance, but the key is he calls the cross streets for us, which he gives us the street, direction of travel, and the next cross street.
Coming up to the intersection now, I'll give you a direction of travel shortly. Shaping up for westbound Thompson's, going to be going over the railway bridge.
So, once again, like the person in the back, and on this case it was John, can bring that up and slew the camera on, and you'll see initially like the camera will slew and then stop and then slew again as we're getting these different updates. And then once we get it on the camera, that's kind of where we take over.
If you don't know your patch, it makes it incredibly hard to get ahead of the game, and that's not just from a sergeant's point of view, but also the troops and the senior sergeant running the patch. I've worked this patch for a long time, both dog squad and uniform, and know a lot of the common routes or know common intersections that they're going to go through.
Cam's first order of business is to keep police radio chatter to a minimum, which is sometimes easier said than done.
Keep the air clear, all units, you know your patch, get ahead of it.
The tone you hear is Gavin in the helicopter, call sign Pole Air, trying to cut through over voices to speak to Cam.
We haven't come up, so he doesn't know that we can see him or them. And unfortunately with the police radios, only one person can talk at a time. So if you have a lot of ground units that keep pressing the radio and say, oh, can I get a copy of the job? And another one, can I get a copy of the job? They're the only people that can sort of talk.
A copy of the job is when a radio dispatcher sends details of an incident to a police officer's mobile device.
Left-hand turn eastbound in Central.
Cam projects calm leadership over the radio. His demeanour is important to the outcome.
It makes all the difference from the supervisor point of view. Your supervisor has confidence in you, but also it's a calming effect on the troops.
Coming up to the intersection now, I'll give you a direction of travel shortly. Shaping up for westbound Thompson's, going to be going over the railway bridge.
So that's the key for us, like railway bridge. Well, there's actually 2 railway lines, but where he's mentioned Thompson's and the railway, it's like, okay, perfect. I can find that on the Melways real easily because, like, once you know what a railway looks like on the Melways, it's a straight line. Bang, Thompson's, Melways, okay, that's where they're going to be. So now I've got a point in space where I need to go.
Yes, you heard right. In the chopper, Gavin is interpreting Cam's directions from a Melway Street app, just like any motorist can download for $2. But this Melways is linked to the aircraft's camera and GPS system. For many years, the Air Wing used paper versions of the street directory.
As we're flying along, and Melways is great. Like if you're on the road, like if you're a police officer and you've got either your phone or a paper Melways, just get it out because it will show you where the petrol stations are, where the schools are, where the shopping centres are. It shows you everything, and that's all we used to call these jobs is as a Melways. So we're 10 k's away, but we've got the camera on the target, and I can see that out the window because like you see the railway lights. It's got anyone that's may have seen a railway line at night from a helicopter. You just see a black line, but it's got the red stop signs, obviously for the trains to go low down. So okay, I can see because out of all this light, there's darkness and then there's red light. There's a train line right in front of us.
So probably they mightn't get the car, but they might see the rail bridge. Trying to give those ones that give them a chance to get in there. And as you can see on the screen, they've already got a fast mover there. And we're heading down to an industrial estate, which makes it a little bit easier for us as well because it's a bit more scarcity in vehicle traffic.
With Polair now locked on, Cam Wallace wants to back off the crooks to play his tactical leadership role.
756, I'll remove myself from the follow. I'll be the PSC. Sticks are authorised.
So there, perfect intro. Is authorise the stop sticks, so immediately there's a resolution plan. So he's given clear direction for everyone else to stay off the radio.
Just confirming this is going to be an extended follow then.
At this point, Cam gets another police car to take over as the lead vehicle so that he can become the police forward commander for the chase.
So that was a great thing that Cam did there. Like, we need to have a supervisor because now it's, an extended follow. Someone needs to be in control. And as a primary following vehicle, you can't do that.
I think I was driving that night. So I'm doing comms, driving the police vehicle, asking for support. Once Polair are there, I can pull back, do a lot more checking of the downlink. But safety is the absolute one priority. If we can't get there, we can't help someone.
In movie terms, Polair has a god's eye view, almost directly above the offending vehicles, which are gleaming hot through the FLIR screen. There are 2 cars, but only 1 helicopter.
Police 1, got the southbound. Which vehicle do you want us to stick with as a priority, the front or the rear?
Yeah, 756, the front one's going to be the confirmed stolen at this stage. If we can stay with that one.
We knew the front one was absolute confirmed. The other one might be stolen, might not be reported yet, generally up to no good, but let's go with the one we've got confirmed offences for and could put our eggs in that basket.
7 is southbound Evans, speeds out 120, approaching Central Parkway. Roger.
If these cars see some headlights that's following them, it's going to escalate their driving. At the moment, it's not too bad.
Cam Wallace now directs his troops to deploy stop sticks in side streets and alternate routes, trying to anticipate the offender's likely options.
I need sticks at Central Parkway, Thames Road and South Gibby, Monaghan's and Sladen, thank you. 37. 6 set up at Monaghan's and Central Parkway, Evans and Central Parkway, Evans and Thompson's, and out to Hall Road behind the Woolworths.
Then a twist. From the air, Gavin sees the offenders ditch 1 car, all of the crew pile into the other, a silver VW Tiguan.
Alright, one vehicle's been abandoned outside number 10 at Sharon. At least 4 offenders out from that one and inside the Gulf now. On the move, left-hand turn to be northbound on Ganista towards Central Parkway. That's a dead end there, guys. Dead end. Get out, get 6 across. He's going to have to come back. In Parnell Court, doing a 3-point turn. Get those sticks ready, coming back. Down 650, sticks were successful.
The Tiguan has run over the stop sticks, taking out at least one tyre.
When we hear that members come up and say, stop stick successful, it's like, it's music to your ears. You know that there's going to be a resolution now.
What happens next is up to the offenders. They decide to continue, so Cam will keep his plan going until the car is on rims.
We'll still go with big plans, please, to get rid of all tyres.
We learn through experiences. It's not always just one set of stop sticks, because some of these cars will have run flats. Some of the drivers are so determined not to be arrested that they'll keep going no matter what. So the more wheels you can take out, the better. But in this case, it was enough to tip the game in our favour.
Alright, near Code 12, going to be southbound on Fairfield, heading towards Duff. Speed's about 60.
The first sticks have slowed the car down significantly, but this is not over yet. The driver's moves are becoming erratic, posing a possible risk to other road users.
There is that misnomer with stop sticks, like the tyres explode all of a sudden. The needles that go in there, they slowly deflate. In this instance, I don't think there was any ill intent from them. They were just cutting a corner to make it faster. And yes, unfortunately, there's a car going the other way. But yeah, there's no evasive action needed there. It was just one of those things. And they've taken all reasonable to avoid it. I'm watching that. I'm confident they're not a risk to other road users in terms of they're taking deliberate action to hurt someone. They're just crooks trying to get away.
With Polair tracking every move, Cam can afford to be patient and let the crooks make the next move, which will probably be on foot.
Stage, I don't want any vehicles behind it or lights set up.
Their patience is soon rewarded.
Vehicles abandoned, 14 Fairfield. We've got at least 4 out on foot, running all different directions.
It's a chaotic scene as the offenders scarper through gardens and side alleys. There are only 5 crooks this time, but these stolen cars are often dangerously overloaded.
I think the record's like 9 out of this Commodore, and then before they all ran off, they had the decency to run around the back, open the boot so the other guy could get out. And this car had just been driving like a lunatic, so the poor guy in the boot, like, he's all disorientated when he gets out. I think he was slightly intoxicated as well. He didn't make it far before he just like, I can't touch you anymore. I try and paint a word picture because it's pitch black. Like, there's fences and houses and bushes everywhere. So you just try and get across as much detail as you can, but not tie up the air with waffle, because these people are now moving into a dangerous environment.
First police vehicle's there. Keep going. They're on your left-hand side.
The crooks decide there is safety in numbers and regroup. 4 of the 5 try to escape over rooftops.
If we can get some units into court, they're down the driveway of going to be number 14. Looks like they're climbing over the back towards Station Street.
We were the first unit to pull up there. My boys ran and chased crooks, and I sat in the car watching the downlink so I can manage it. Had my own little Mr. Holland's Opus in there and get things going.
For some reason, the 4 turn back and jump back into 14 Fairfield. 2 walk right into the arms of police, and a 3rd goes back on the roof before he decides surrender is his best option. A 4th seems to have vanished.
We got members in number 14. Looks like they've got at least 3 in custody.
Gav's done an amazing job here where he's in the aircraft and he can orientate himself to those members and tell them just left or rights, keeping it simple to get them in there, because you're running, you're not often hearing your radio.
All right, now we've got 1 in the back of number 2 Station Street, and he's going to be hiding under some furniture in the rear yard of number 2 Station Street.
Once they hide and go stationary, it's just a matter of time. You know, whether it's the dog that comes and says hello, or we get members in, like, it really reduces our workload because we don't have to keep getting this cordon and setting people up.
Perhaps the fugitive thinks the camera can't see him, but the heat signature gives away his position.
It's no secret that's how they work, because I think it was like Mythbusters where they had this, how can you avoid a heat camera? And they used everything from the CO2 extinguishers to hiding under those metal blankets, the emergency blankets, that kind of stuff.
For the record, none of this worked for the Mythbusters.
All right, members running northbound on station, keep going to your right, keep going. Yep, that fence is on the opposite side of that fence to your left, behind the bushes that joins the house. Hard left. Through the bushes, over the fence. He's about 2 metres in front of you, hard up against the house. Member at the fence, hard left, that's him. Policy 1, they've got that one.
John on the FLIR camera pulls back to a wide shot to search for what they believe is the last fugitive.
Can we get a roll call? How many offenders in custody, please?
756 offside, 2 in custody with the car. 756, got 2 with 5 members, got 1 with PSOs, 1 with 450, 4 offenders.
Gavin sees something back at the original property where the first 2 runners were collared. It's little more than a speck of light amongst some bushes. Something only an experienced tactical flight officer could spot.
So you can see the heat in a person's body. It's a lot warmer than the surrounding environment. Obviously, these people have been packed inside that car. They're pretty heightened, so their hearts will be pumping. They've got a lot of heat in their body, and they start running, which obviously generates more heat, which is better for us.
Yeah, policy 1, the members that went down the driveway and got those, can we get the members back down that driveway? We might have one more hiding in the bush, just in front of those parked cars.
As hiding places go, it's fairly artless. Gavin has seen all the techniques, which mostly fail.
There was one only a couple of weeks back in South Melbourne. Mate, this guy really didn't want to be caught because he's gone so far in this cactus farm, is what I can remember. All you could see was wall-to-wall, prickly pear cactus, the real violent kind, and he's in there deep. I'm like, well, he's in there. I don't know how you're going to get him out, but that's where he is. There's some dedicated people that really want to hide.
Yeah, up down the driveway, sitting in the car, doing it easy, and everyone else is running around. But yeah, they've seen that tiny sliver of heat, and let's recheck it.
Within seconds, uniform members are back in the driveway. They're almost on top of the last crook, but because it's so dark, can't see him without their eye in the sky.
The guys have gone in there, used their torches, whatever, but when you're hands-on with one, unless someone's in your face, you're not looking. But I think they're reasonably confident that a few had skedaddled over roofs, but it turns out that there's someone right there in front of you.
Yeah, we got one. Yeah, member pointing going between those 2 cars. You got the bins on the right hand side. Then you'll have a bush behind those bins, hard up against the fence line. So on your right hand side now, right hand side, right. Yep. Go to the bush, and in that bush there. Yep, that's it.
The offender is pulled out from his hidey hole by one arm.
I think I'm out of the car at this stage, and it may have been me dragging that person out by one arm.
Awesome work.
That was a good one. 5 from 5, 2 stolen cars, and 10 minutes. It's pretty good. This is going to sound terrible, but pretty much we high-five and say what a great job that was, and then fly back to base. But on this job, we finished up this one, and then literally within 2 minutes, we get on another chase that goes for an hour and a half. Another good result, so we got those guys as well. But that was just back-to-back jobs.
After 9 years, Gavin is one of Victoria's most experienced air wing officers. He's never lost the thrill of policing from the air.
It is a huge adrenaline rush, but then at the end you get that huge adrenaline dump and you are exhausted. And that's, I think that's part of the reason why they had such a vigorous testing process, physical testing component to get you where you needed to be. And that's probably why I take the physical fitness side of things so seriously, because you never want to be the person that can't do the task because of your physical capabilities. It does take its toll. There's a lot of the vibrations from the aircraft, which is the nature of the environment, is very fatiguing, as well as that concentration is very fatiguing.
Gavin never thought his career would take him so far. The air wing has proved to be a challenging and fulfilling workplace for him.
We're no different to anyone else on the van. Like, we're just doing the job, just we have a different vehicle to get things done by.
Police Life, The Experts is a Victoria Police production. Your host is Belinda Batty. This episode was written by Adam Shand. Additional writing and research by Jessie Ray McCann. It was produced by Adam Shand and Jessie Ray McCann. The senior producer was Roz Jaguar. Audio production and original music by Matt Dwyer. Theme song by Vyacheslav Dragunov. Executive produced by Beck Angel. This podcast was created by the Media, Communications and Engagement Department at Victoria Police. To learn more about the work of Victoria Police, go to police.vic.gov.au.